with us, career development. And so that is great. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And my name is David Swiger, and I am the Director of Hospitality and Sport Management at Northampton Community College. And I have been with the college 13 years. April is my anniversary month. And one of the things that the college has been doing during these virtual times are the virtual career panels. And so about a month ago, we thought it would be a good time to do one of the career panels, especially over the last month with the number of emails that myself and Luann and then Rebecca Hyde is the assistant professor, and she's unable to be with us. And then we have Gwen Capers-Wilson, who's on Monroe campus, and she's unable to be with us. But we've all been getting lots of emails about hiring. We need people. And so the job market in both the Poconos and the Lehigh Valley has returned. So I also want to welcome this current students who are in the program. We have a number of students from Monroe Career and Technical Institute that are with us. Thank you very much for joining us today, and for Maria for working with Luann making this happen. And then if there's others that are out there in the virtual world, thank you for joining in today. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to go down the list of panelists and have you introduce yourself. So I'm going to start with Gina.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope that everyone's enjoying the nice weather out there. Flowers are blooming, weather's looking better. My name is Gina Corrado. I currently work at NCC. I am the scholarships manager, and I also do events for the foundation. I've been with the college for 4 years, but let's add 2 years to that because I did graduate from the hospitality program as a meeting and event planner. So 6 years. It's nice to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm very excited to be part of this panel. Thank you.
Okay, Ruth, introduce yourself.
All right, good morning, everyone. Afternoon, actually. And I apologize if there's some noise. I just landed into Louisville, so I'm at the hotel. But my name is Ruth Rickenbacher. I am the Director of Total Guest Experience for the American Queen Steamboat Company. It's a riverboat company based in the United States. And I'm an NCC alumni from 2011. And I graduated with my former classmate, Kayla Lacey, who's also in this panel. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Ruth. Pat, if you can tell us about yourself.
Hey, man, I have so many questions for Ruth about this riverboat experience. That sounds really cool. My name's Pat Schneider. I am from Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom. Started working here when I was 16, one of those just first jobs that I never left. Worked in aquatics and then touched a little bit of every department. So worked in marketing for a little bit. And the past 7 years, I worked as our admissions and guest services manager. And recently, I've moved over to the world of learning and development, and I am a training manager at Dorney.
Thank you, Pat. And then throughout this interview, I'm going to continue to refer to her as Little Steph because she will always be Little Steph in my heart. So Stephanie, if you can introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Smith. I am currently a senior sales manager here at the Hilton North Airport, located in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I am super excited to be on this panel today. Any questions, please feel free to add to the chat. And yeah, we're excited, and thank you for joining us today.
Okay, Becky.
Hi, everyone. My name is Becky, and I am a graduate of the NCC hospitality program as well. I am a I'm the Director of Group and Meeting Sales for Joshi Hotel Group. So I oversee 2 different properties here in the Lehigh Valley. I also am on the Alumni Association Board and the Hospitality Advisory Board. And I am super excited to be here. Same thing, please ask any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. Jabor, nice
Hi,
to see
I'm
you.
late there.
It's all good. It's great to see you, Jabor. So right now we're just doing introductions.
Okay, so I am Jabor. I graduated in 2020. I don't remember. 2012, maybe 2013. I am the owner and manager of the Lafayette Bar in Easton. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. I'm just reading the information right now, so I'm trying to catch. Sorry.
That's good for right now, Jabbar. And is Jaslyn here? Okay. I didn't see her. So we have given our panelists 4 topics to talk about. The one that I'm probably have them all talk about is their career path. Was it a zigzag or a straight and narrow path from graduation to present position? And students like to know, how long does it take to get a job in the hospitality industry? I am going to go to Ruth. Ruth, let's have you start things off.
Sure, no problem. So actually my whole career, it's a career, it's not a job. It actually started in Northampton Community College. When I was in the hotel program, I started working at the Hampton Winds, the restaurant for the restaurant across the street from Northampton main campus. I got the opportunity to begin my career there. And then when I started doing my internship, I actually landed my job through the internship, and my situation was different. I was more towards the tourism, travel and tourism industry aspect of the actual program. So Greg Marzano, who was one of my former professors, had a contact in the travel industry in Easton. And I started my career now at 10 years in the actual company. And it was a shore excursion company for the cruise line that I actually worked for, American Queen Steamboat Company. And I started as an administrative assistant. The company was recently opening, so it was their first year operating as a shore excursion liaison for American Queen Steamboat Company. And I grew from there. So I worked every single position as their first employee. As I mentioned, from the administrative assistant, I then did operations for the excursions that we were building for the cruise company. Then I went up to do product development, from special themes, event management, to now today I'm actually the director of total guest experience. So I touch all the guest experience that our cruise line does. So from the moment they go to our website and they are curious about the cruise line industry, all the way to dining, entertainment, how that connects to the experience off the boat, which is their tours, and all the way to the very end with a focus group and guest surveys to learn more about what's their next step in the industry and what they want to do with us as part of the family. I would say it was a zigzag and straight at the same time, just because zigzag, as I just touch a lot of different departments within the company. But it was a straight shoot because I've been with the company for 10 years. So I'm very proud and honored to be with them since I started. This is my first job here in the United States. I'm actually from Panama City, Panama, born and raised. Military parents. I moved to Easton, which is where my father is from. So that was my first job ever. So as being passionate in the industry, it helped me kind of develop my career where I am today. So how long did it take me to get this job? It was with the internship. So I got my foot in the door, and that helped me actually get the job. And between my internship and the actual job opportunity, it was about 3 to 4 months to get to the job where I am today.
And Ruth, since we have stayed connected, why don't you tell them a little bit about the traveling that you do? Because I think for some individuals, that could be an exciting part of being in the hospitality industry. And you certainly have reached that goal.
I have, yes. As David mentioned, my passion was traveling. I always wanted to be a flight attendant, but my mom was always passionate about boats. So I never thought I would end up working for a cruise. Actually, it's not a cruise line, but it's a riverboat company in the United States. So I've always wanted to create tours and travel around the world so I could showcase the culture in every country that I went, or the local areas that I was. So for instance, in Easton, how can I showcase Easton? And those were like my passion, and how I can bring other people and actually see and learn about the people, the culture, and what the industry brings. So I would say in the river cruise industry, the traveling that I do is pretty broad. So I'm today in Louisville, which is where headquarters is located, but I work remotely from Easton, and I get to travel at least 3 or 4 times a month, just because I touch 75 cities that our riverboat actually travels throughout the United States. So I get the luxury and the pleasure to not do a job, but do a career where I get to see all the cultures that a lot of the cities in the United States has to offer.
Ruth, thank you so much.
Question, David.
What?
I said, I hope that answered the question.
Oh, very much so. Thank you, Ruth. Well, and then, so when Ruth graduated, along with Kayla, so did Jabor. So why don't we go to Jabor next? And you tell us a little bit about your career path.
So my career path was different since I decided to join our family business. My family bought this place in 1975. So I would be the 3rd generation to take over. I took over, well, so I've been working here since I was 16 years old. So I don't know. So I'm 31 now. So I put in quite a bit of time. So I took over in about 2017. I think I took over completely, but I had done every job in here since then. There's, everything from, sound engineering to bartending to, booking events and musicians and cleaning toilets when you have to. But I've done pretty much everything that I needed to do to get to this point. And I don't know, I guess 2017 I took over. That's pretty much my career path. It wasn't really that interesting. It was kind of just like expected of me to take over. So here I am.
But you seem to have a passion to continue.
Oh yeah, very.
And
Yeah, my dad and my uncle didn't really want me to do this, but I liked it way more than trying anything else. Like I remember being at NCC and I was originally a business management student, and I was just like so bored and like not interested. And then I switched to the hospitality program, and it just made more sense for me.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Jabor. Why don't we go to little Steph next? Tell us about your career path and being in the Newark area.
I know. Okay, where do I even start? Okay, so I graduated from NCC in 2015. I did my internship with the American Cancer Society, Relay for Life, back here in New Jersey. And then I was kind of torn with the decision of, am I going to try to stay in the Lehigh Valley? where I made all my connections and networks. You know, I had my loyal professors there with their network and their connections, or do I try to uproot everything and move back to New Jersey and basically start fresh? So that's exactly what I did. I applied for the sales coordinator position here at the Hilton Newark Airport right after school. And that was my first interview and my first offer, and I accepted it. So I got my start in the hospitality industry pretty quickly after I graduated. And then from there, I was here for 3 years. And then I wanted to try a franchise versus owned and managed. The property that I'm currently at is owned and managed by Hilton. So I wanted to try a franchise. So I accepted the position as catering sales manager at the Hilton Garden in Springfield. I was on their opening team. So having the experience of my first time management title, plus being at an opening hotel was definitely one for the books. And then I realized, okay, so I got my Hilton experience under my belt. Let me go and tap on Marriott stores. So I accepted a position as senior sales manager a year after that at the Residence Inn Secaucus, which was a completely, again, different market. I think New Jersey has so many busy markets. So I tested my waters at the Newark Airport market. So I wanted to try something else. I tried the Secaucus market. I was there for about 2 years. And then I decided that Marriott definitely was not my home. So I came back here to the Hilton Newark Airport. My DOS offered me the position as senior sales manager. So now I'm here, and I've been here for about a year, literally right before the pandemic started. And I have been working nonstop for about a year now here. So that's where I'm at. As far as it being a zigzag or straight and narrow, I think it's been very straightforward. I got my job very quickly after graduating NCC, and I've been just moving up the ladder ever since. So yeah, it's been very eventful. But this is clearly my passion. I absolutely love what I do, even during the pandemic. So yeah, I'm happy, and I'm very, very grateful for NCC. The experience was amazing. So that's where I'm at now.
And Steph, you stayed in the dorm, didn't you?
I did. I did
And
the
that was
whole thing. I
you
did
did
the
whole
dorm,
experience.
and I commuted to Fowler Center. Yeah, I did the whole 9.
Because living in the dorms is an experience. So
Living in the dorms is definitely an experience, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my whole NCC experience, and then that whole Spain trip just topped it off. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that would have been what, 4 years ago?
Mm-hmm. I know, David, best time in your life. You don't have to tell me. I already know.
And just, I was one of 3 chaperones, and we took 21 students to Madrid and then the Asturias region of Spain. And of the 21 students, 7 were in the hospitality program. It's good times. It was good.
Great time.
You can't beat living in a pension in Madrid for a week. Yeah. So anyway,
right.
Moving on. Gina, why don't you go next and tell us about your passion? You enjoyed being a student at NCC so much.
Yes.
Here to work, and then you brought your husband.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So let me just backtrack a little bit. I have to say that this opportunity here, being able to network with other people, having people telling you their career paths, take advantage of it. I didn't have that. Back in 2014, I lost my job as an underwriter. I was working for a finance company for like over 10 years, 8-10-hour days, underwriting loans all day long. So when I got laid off, I pretty much said, I have to reinvent myself. What do I want to do? I love doing events. I love planning events. So all I had in the mail was just a little pamphlet from NCC, and it said, join our meeting and event planning hospitality program. So I looked into it. decided to put myself back in school, having 2 kids, married, starting all over again and being kind of like that older person in the classroom. But I took advantage of it and I went through the program. I volunteered for absolutely everything. I did work study. Anytime they had the Lehigh Valley Food and Wine Festival, Luann, sign me up. What do you want me to do? So I took advantage of that, graduated in 2017. I did my internship at Northampton Country Club, which was an amazing experience. It definitely showed me how to run an event from beginning to end. It meant clearing plates, it meant setting up tables, it meant managing other people, it meant seeing the whole event come together. So I really enjoyed my internship very much. And to this day, I'm very connected with them because they taught me so many skills. So after graduation, I was like, all right, what do I want to do with myself? I need a job. Graduated in May, and then I get this text message in July from Luann, and she says to me, there's a position that opened up at that foundation, Northampton Community College Foundation. So try it, go for it. I'm like, sure, let me just go in and see what it's all about. Went through the interview. Here I find out that it's actually the whole foundation that planned the Lehigh Valley Food and Wine Festival, and they do so many events to be able to raise money for scholarships. So I started as part-time, blessed, very, very blessed. I learned so much, you know, doing all of the different events for the foundation. Within like 6 months, I got promoted to full-time. Within a year, I was already assistant to the special events director, and I've been there ever since. You know, unfortunately, it has been such a rocky year, and we couldn't do any events for the past year, but, you know, I took some time to learn about scholarships, how to process scholarships, and now I just landed that position as manager of scholarships. And then at the same time doing, you know, planning for the Lehigh Valley Food and Wine Festival coming up and other events coming up. So it has been quite a journey, but I've been very blessed to have mentors in my life, David, Luann, Rebecca, always pushing me, always telling me, you can do it. Just ask questions. We're here to help you. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of like straight for me. And that's why I said I've been at NCC for so long. And yeah, my husband started working at NCC about a year ago. He's an electrician and a position up, and he's like, I'm gonna try it. So we're both there. I love working with the students. I love, you know, doing what I do. I love planning events, and seeing everything come together has been very special for me.
Well, thank you very much, Gina. And I'm just going to say to our students here from MCTI, if you were to decide to attend NCC, Gina's going to be a key person to know because she's got the scholarship dollars. And so, and we have over 10 scholarships.
Yes.
Are for either hospitality or culinary arts students. So the dollars are there, and even in some of them are you declare whether you're going to be going to the Bethlehem campus or the Monroe campus, and there are those scholarship dollars available for you. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Pat, let's hear about your career path, and let's learn about Dorney.
This has been fun just hearing how diverse everybody's stories are too. And it's one of my favorite questions in at least the amusement park industry is just getting people's origin stories, because hospitality in general, I think you find a lot of unique ways people got to their position. And it's funny, right before this, I was with our HR manager and we're laughing because she came from food and beverage. And it's just, what other industry are you at a company? And it's like, oh yeah, our HR manager, she's actually from food. And I'm in training, and that's not my initial background. I started at Dorney in 2006 when I was 16, just was looking for a tan and to make some friends. And I started in aquatics as a lifeguard, worked there for 5 years, and I just got hit with the bug of being in this industry. I am not an office 9-to-5 type person, and just being outside, moving around and working with people, I loved it. And I think no matter what you do in the hospitality industry, you build closer connections than almost any other industry because of the teamwork that's involved in making it happen. And not every day is easy, and that makes you a lot closer to people. And at that point, I was like, this has to be my career. This is what I want to do. So I pivoted and left aquatics to do my internship at Dorney to try to further my career a little bit. And I worked in marketing for 2 years. I did group sales and also was a supervisor for our call center staff and learned a lot through that. I graduated, could not find a full-time job in the industry. And if there's one piece of advice I would give to anybody, it's just keep being persistent and trying until you get that opportunity. I did a lot of informational interviews. I know networking comes up a little later, so I can save that. But I found that very helpful as a way to connect with people. And in 2000, I was thinking when Gina was telling her story, I graduated college, couldn't find a full-time job in this industry. I was working doing scholarship programs for Bucks County Community College. And I did that for about 10 months. And then the admissions and guest services position opened up at Dorney in July of 2013 and was very lucky to be offered that position. And I had been there through 2020. And my passion, I didn't even know learning and development was a thing, but Cedar Fair is really taking a direction and making sure that we're keeping our associate skills and knowledge up. So we have this new training manager position, and that's where I've been since October.
Wow. A great path. And so you did have a zig and a zag, but you're doing training. I'm gonna have to put that in the back of my mind if I get to the point that I need an adjunct, Pat. Your skill set.
It's interesting. You could fill a book with everything I didn't know about just adult learning theory and everything. I did not realize how involved it was. So I need to pick your brain a bit because it's just been very interesting. Yes.
And this time I won't get in a car accident. Yeah, me and accents. So let's go to Becky Zavilla. Let's hear about your career path. And
so I definitely had a little bit of a zigzag. I started as an intern in the spring, summer of 2009.
And I just want to share that Becky was the very first student from NCC that I placed in internship.
Yes, if it was honestly, if it wasn't for David, I would have never found an internship. I don't think. I had never worked. I had done retail and stuff like that, but I had never worked in hospitality before, so I didn't really know what avenue to take per se. So I was really struggling with that. So I went to him pretty desperate, and he connected me with Andrea Weissmiller, who to this day is definitely a mentor of mine, and still helps me, through my career. But I started as an intern in spring of 2009. I was technically done with the program, but I was missing 2 classes, which I didn't find out until a later date because I started working. So I worked as a sales coordinator here at the Hilton Garden Inn on Airport Road in Allentown for quite some years, about 5 years. And then I said, opportunities were starting to come to me, and I said, I have to finish my career. I had 2 classes. I had an electives class, and I had an accounting class that I had to take. So I did that in the kind of winter spring of 2017, but really finished the program in 2017 with those last classes. And then I was able to become director of sales at the Town Place Suites in Easton, which was part of Joshi Hotel Group. It is no longer. The property was sold. Worked there for about 3 years, and then the property was sold. So I was offered to come back here to the Hilton Garden Inn to kind of be an area director of sales for both the Hilton Garden Inn and the 4 Points by Sheraton, which is actually across the street from Dorney Park. Yes, I've been with the company for about 12, 13 years. Hard to believe that, but I have grown and I have learned so much. If I look back to that person in 2009, I didn't know much, and what I know now is so invaluable. So I learned so much. I worked every position. I started as a sales coordinator, I mean, everything from washing dishes after banquets to cleaning up. I mean, to this day, and especially now, it's definitely an effect of the pandemic, but I am even to this day setting up meeting rooms in addition to executing them, you know, and taking care of all that. But Northampton has helped me immensely, and I forever will find ways to give back because they gave me so much.
Thank you, Becky. And you go, yeah, and she gives a lot to the college. She definitely does. She is on the alumni board, and that's very important. So the next bullet point is, and I'm going to throw it out there and see if 2 or 3 of you want to talk about it, the importance of mentors and networking. Does anybody on the panel want to speak to advice to the current students and our prospective students on the importance of having a mentor, or why it's important to go out there and network?
Yeah, definitely. I'll go. Like a lot of the other graduates, I took advantage of any opportunity that was presented to me, going back to the president's dinners that were held at Hampton Winds, food and wine festivals, and things like that, as far as networking, and even any online networking, networking events like this, or even when we could do in-person events, networking events like that. And then as far as mentors, I mean, to this day, David's a mentor, Andrea's a mentor. I have other various mentors that I now use in my professional life. And it's everything from a sounding board when you're frustrated some days to career advice, and educational advice. And definitely, I think having some solid mentors is key in a lot of things.
Certainly is. And it is nice to have that person that is not part of your work environment that can be that sounding board for you.
Exactly.
You need to do one of these, that
Yes.
you can go to that person.
Very much so.
Yeah, Becky knows what I'm talking about. So,
Gotcha.
okay, mentoring and networking. Who wants to go next? Anybody?
Something to the networking.
Go
So
for it, Gina.
I think I've said in the past at previous presentations that the O in hospitality means opportunity. So don't forget that. That's opportunity everywhere you go, whether you're in the event industry, restaurant business, hotel, it's an opportunity for you to network. So you need to be prepared and have your business card. If you don't have a job yet, make a business card, make a presentation for yourself. You're going to leave an impression, and that's going to be an opportunity that could be a client, could be a job opportunity, could be somebody that can mentor you in the future, could be somebody that's going to refer you in the future. So it's extremely important to always see that as an opportunity and just be ready to go. I've had mentors in the past, family members, professors, but then I also follow a lot of mentorship programs online. You don't necessarily need to know these people, but if you connect with them in a way that you're seeing what they're posting, you're seeing the message that they're giving, is keep that as motivation. There's so many podcasts and motivation programs out there that keep you motivated and keep you believing in yourself and keep going. So that's just my advice to students.
Pat, do you have any input on mentoring and networking?
I do. I think I would challenge people to think about it a little bit differently as well. There's the traditional networking of you're at an event or a party and you're mingling. And I think people tend to hang out with their cliques or people they already know. So I would suggest trying to find community groups that you can join where there's a common purpose, and maybe the intent isn't to network, but it's just something that happens. Like, for example, Toastmasters is an organization that is set up to help people become really good speakers, and join that if it's a skill you want to improve. But as a byproduct, you also network with people in that group as well. And same with, I'm a big fan of LinkedIn, and not just cold messaging people on there, but you'll find different groups. So I mentioned I'm very new to this world of learning and development. So I found a couple of groups through that, and we all have a shared purpose. And just when you comment and start interacting with people, you slowly build those relationships. And once you start having those, then you can start messaging back and forth, and you have that comfort, and your network grows almost organically instead of it feeling a little bit forced, where maybe it's somebody that you don't know and you're just like, hey, here's my business card. Because I think, or even just messaging somebody you don't know on LinkedIn, the response rate might be a little bit low. So when you're thinking about networking, just try to view it through maybe a different lens than what you picture in your mind already.
Thank you, Pat.
I can
And you brought up Toastmasters, and to the current students who have had me in class, you would never think, but when I graduated from college, I still had a hard time like getting in front of people. And so I joined Toastmasters for a year and a half. And now you can't shut me up. But back then I was very, very quiet. I heard a voice someplace.
That was me. I could say something as far as networking.
Go for it, Jabbar.
So for me, being in the Easton restaurant and bar community, it's definitely very important to really become like friends with the other people in the industry, restaurants and bars. Even if you run out of something that night, you can always call on them to come and help you, and you can go and pick up something from them. They can pick up something from you. It definitely helps you get out of binds. Even like, as far as traveling and always having your business cards on you, every time you travel, it really is an opportunity to learn. Every time I travel somewhere, even if I'm going to bars and having a good time, I'm always thinking about like what that place that I'm at is doing, and how, if I like that idea, can I adopt it for my place? For example, like in New Orleans, so we're a jazz bar. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning there, but we're known for our jazz here. We're actually voted one of the 50 best jazz clubs in America. So networking with musicians is very important. So even going to New Orleans and seeing bands, if I like them, immediately giving them my business card, talking to them, and trying to catch them when they're on tours, so I can add them into our event schedule. But as far and supporting my Easton crew, I guess I'll call them, the bars and restaurants around here. We definitely try to visit each other as much as possible and show support, especially during these times. We try to get around and help each other out, because you don't know when the next time you're going to need their help. So it's definitely important to keep in touch with people in the industry.
And the Eastern restaurant community is very well connected.
Yeah, we're all very close to each other, for sure.
You're very tight. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to jump to the last bullet point, and I'm going to have some of you talk about the highlights of the NCC Hospitality Management Program. Is there a highlight? Is there when you think about your time at NCC and in the program, what comes to mind? And Ruth, I'm going to have you go first.
Well, definitely a shaping experience in my life, because it helped me. And going back to the networking, if I may, I'll combine those two into this question. But I think one of the biggest thing is volunteering, and that's a big networking. You volunteer, you make friends, you make connections, and you stick with those people. And it's not 1 year, but it could just go many years. So volunteering is a key thing, and I think it's an opportunity for networking and finding mentors. So I think based on that, those were my highlights when I was involved in volunteering. The wine, the wine festivals in Lehigh Valley and at the Sands, or just volunteering to, do fundraisers for the school, for the program. Those are opportunities that, create highlights in my memories. And personally, another thing is attending the conferences that, David puts together with his team, to be able to experience the outdoor, like experience out there with other industries and what other people are doing that you can help and take from that so that you could apply it in your life. So those, and I'm so sorry I missed the Madrid trip. David, you never invited me. I wish I was going to that trip.
You graduated.
I know that I can be a chaperone. I travel for a living. So I wish those are things that, are great opportunities. So please take advantage of those, because you create memories, and then it's not just a job, it just becomes a career, and it becomes a passion that you start building. And that's thanks to the tools and the mentorship that people like David and Luann, who've been part of my life. So if I could go back, I definitely would, and take advantage of it, because when it's gone and over, you regret not taking advantage of those opportunities. So that's my intake on the highlights.
Thank you very much, Ruth. And she mentioned fundraising, and one of the things I just want to share is on both the Bethlehem campus and Monroe campus, we have a hospitality management club. This past year, because we've been virtual, they kind of have worked together, but that I think has been a really great way for students to learn to work together and to do some great fundraising events. Little Steph, why don't you tell about your highlights or favorite moments from NCC?
Okay, so can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay, I just want to make sure I had to switch over to my laptop. Okay, so I'm going to kind of lump the networking question into this as well. I think what I took away from NCC the most was say yes. Say yes to the opportunity, say yes to the volunteering, say yes to the networking. It's a very small phrase, but it's what has got me to where I am today. It's very scary coming out from college and getting into this industry. Is not as easy as some might lead on to be, but just that little phrase, saying yes, was big for me. I was at every volunteer event, food and wine festival, anything that I could, even in the restaurant. They need volunteers for serving dinner at the country club. I was there. I think that's very big, and it builds your confidence so that when you get out of NCC, you're confident and you're motivated to make those marketing, networking events. I think that is huge. So that's definitely one of the highlights. Take advantage of all opportunities. Networking is not easy, but you want to practice while you're in school and not when you're out in the field. So all the opportunities that the program has lined up, take them, say yes to them, despite how uncomfortable it might be. That would be my thing as a student.
And that's why you may not like them, but we have you do the grab a cup of coffee assignments in certain classes, because it helps you to begin to learn how to network.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk about a highlight or favorite moment from NCC before we go into the industry?
And so my favorite moments were the ones that, yes, you for volunteering, and like nerve-wracking, you didn't know what you were doing. To be honest, I did not even know how to open a bottle of wine when I was in the program. I liked wine, but my husband always opened it for me. I didn't know how to open a bottle of wine. And professors taking the time, especially Rebecca, to show you that, to have that confidence, priceless. The catering classes were amazing. You got to, run all these events and see it all come together. To me, was just amazing. And then also enhancing guest services. I love that class. That was one of my favorite classes, because he was just so strategic in how to enhance a guest experience and how to give 110% of yourself to keep that customer coming back, whether it's in the hotel industry, restaurant industry, event industry. Those are techniques that they teach you to keep customers coming back, for you to create that impression. So those were my highlights. And of course, the trips. I was also part of the hospitality club, and going to Chicago was just such a fun time. Just time away from the kids. It was just perfect. So I definitely enjoy those.
Yeah, and I mean, and this kind of go to both the current students and the MCTI students. We're lucky that we have endowment dollars that have came from Martin Guitar. And so things should be getting back to normal. And our plan is to take the first year students this fall to New York to the hotel experience. And then this is the first time this what the second year students were going to go for a day to Philadelphia and explore Philadelphia. And then in the spring, we're going to go to Hershey Hotel, and the club goes to Chicago to the National Restaurant Show. And we've toyed with going to the greater DC area to learn about Marriott. So because we have the dollars, there are opportunities for us to go out and explore. So now we've got 12 minutes left. I'm going to have our panel talk about their predictions for the industry over the next 6 months. I'm going to start with Patrick, and we'll work our way through.
I just adore the NCC hospitality community you have here, by the way. I just need to share that. I am envious of this and wish I would have had just this little community feel. It's fantastic. And the network that you guys have, it's just amazing. So I wanted to say that. But we're feeling optimistic here at Dorney. So we are actually a site as a vaccine center, which is great because we get to help the community. And we know as soon as these vaccines keep rolling, it's just helping us here at Cedar Fair and Dorney. And we've been having a lot of turnout for that. And based on our season pass sales and ticket sales, we're feeling really good about the season. And even just in casual conversation, my phone, I just keep getting texts from family and friends. What's up with the park? Are you guys planning to be open? Is the water park going to be open? So I really sense that after people have been trapped in their houses for a while, that everybody is excited to get outside and do things again. So we feel really good about it. We're going to have the water park open this year, which we did not have open last year. So we got a lot of buzz and feeling good about it.
Excellent, thank you. Let's go to Ruth.
Well, as you guys know, cruise industry is really struggling right now, especially international, but thankful that as being a U.S. Company, we're a riverboat company in the U.S., we are the first river cruise in nationwide that has been starting its sailing and its cruising last month. So the eagerness of the people, the guests to travel is there. 70% of the people or customers are ready to travel. So they want to start cruising, especially locally in the US, and feel safe and actually venture areas in the United States that they never heard. So our cruise industry is starting to wrap up. We're in the magnifying glass, so they're looking at us and see if we're following CDC guidelines and how we're doing in the cruise industry, and other companies are following. So now they're starting to wrap up and starting to cruise again. So hopefully in the next 6 months, we will, now with vaccinations and all that, we will be implementing those, and people are going to feel safer and start traveling once again. But hopefully, as we started, we're getting a lot of people and excitement to travel back in the US rivers.
That's excellent. Yeah, and I saw this weekend on the news that they're predicting that the summer travel season is going to be huge, that like airfares from LA to New York are going to be back to what they used to be, that there are boutique hotels, they didn't say where, that are already sold out between Christmas and New Year's. So travels, I mean, I'm assuming they were in major metropolitan cities because they were also talking about New York and LA. But I mean, travel is going to be back. And a lot of it is like, we've just, so many people, we have this pent up frustration from being locked down for 14 months. And now that, you know, what is it, like 50% of, am I correct, have received at least their first vaccine. You know, so we're moving in the right direction and people are going to get out. And, you know, I think what is huge about where we live is that there's a lot to do, whether it's in the Poconos or it's in the Lehigh Valley, indoors or outdoors. And then I always love to say, within the drive market, there are 30 million people that live in our drive market. So they are going to come here this summer and they are going to stay in the hotels and experience our parks and a lot of different things. And I'm going to shut up and I'm going to move to Little Staff.
The next 6 months, it's so hard to gear here in the Newark Airport market. We actually own 2 parking lots here. That's a part of the hotel. So our parking lots are packed with park and fly, meaning guests who are parking in our parking lots and taking the airport shuttle over to the airport to start their vacation. So what I will say, and I hope that this is warming to everybody's heart, because it is for mine, is travel is definitely coming back. Every single weekend we are oversold airport parking. So the airport is booming. I mean, guests are definitely getting out there and starting to travel. And business as far as inside of the hotel is so up and down. For example, when we left Saturday, we were at 50% occupancy. At an overnight report, we was at 89%. So just in a matter of hours, this market is so crazy. We picked up over 100 rooms, and only 30 of those rooms were crew. So the rest of them were a lot of walking, clearly cancellations with flights. So the market is definitely coming back. Just have a little more patience, guys. We are almost at the finish line. I definitely agree. 6 months to put us September, August-ish. I definitely think that the beginning of fall, we're going to crush as a hospitality industry. So I'm hopeful.
We're all hopeful. So Jabbar, tell us about the restaurant industry. Where do you see things going in the next 6 months?
We're hoping for an upswing. From everything I've been hearing, it's supposed to be maybe July. We should start seeing a little bit more normality. So for what that means for us is that we're going to start booking more events now. Things that have worked for us in the past, other than the jazz we've done. I definitely want to get like our burlesque shows back and our comedy shows and our drag shows. Those are things that have worked really well for us in the past, but we just weren't allowed the capacity. So we are definitely, planning for the best in the next 6 months. And hopefully that will happen. So.
Yeah, we just have to stay optimistic.
Yeah.
Gina, why don't you go next?
Sure. Yeah, I think the next 6 months are looking bright. You're going to see a lot of events. You're going to see a lot of people wanting to get together again. For the Lehigh Valley Food and Wine Festival this year, we're going virtually, but we're also doing a sponsor reception. And we're seeing a great amount of people wanting to come to that. So people want to get together. I think that now that it's kind of slow, take the time to educate yourself, polish your skills, and then just get ready to work because it's gonna be busy.
Yeah, we're gonna get busy. We certainly are. Becky.
Yeah, no, same, pretty much what everyone else has said. In my personal, it would be weddings for us are off the charts this year. I would say it's about 70% new weddings, 30% weddings that have rebooked from last year. There's literally weekends upcoming that I have a wedding on a Friday night and a Saturday night, and we shuttle to a local venue. So that's definitely super exciting for both us and for them, because they're busy and so we are as well. But yeah, we're definitely on that right path. I think the more people get vaccinated as well, the more their confidence is going to build. And business travel for us, being so close to the airport, will continue to increase. And then as well as leisure travel in the summer with families.
We have 3 minutes. So based upon what everybody's saying, the job opportunities are there, correct? Okay.
Correct. And David, I do have 3 positions that's open at the property. So we are looking for a front office manager. If anybody's interested in the New Jersey area, full-time front office manager. We're looking for a full-time night auditor and also full-time guest service agent. So if anybody knows anybody or if anybody's looking to maybe relocate from the Lehigh Valley, but not that far, please let me know. We will be glad for the resumes. Yeah.
I'll piggyback on that. Actually, we're also hiring. So if anyone is interested, we do have positions in the Easton area, but we also have remote positions for the cruise line industry, American Queen Steamboat Company, from sales, reservations, guest experience, operation for shore excursions, engineer on board the vessels. So we do have a lot of jobs coming up because we have a lot of fleets to fill with staff. So if you guys have any, would like to learn more about it, you can email me and I'll be more than happy to provide you more information on the river cruise industry.
Okay, and Pat's putting a link to jobs and his email address.
Just like a lot of the restaurants here in the Lehigh Valley, like most of them, our food and beverage department is desperate for people. So come in, fill out an application. We'll get you connected with our food and beverage director. But anything right now could help.
Great. If any of the current students or prospective students didn't type their names into the chat room yet, if you could do that, we would greatly appreciate it. Kayla, if you wouldn't mind putting your information in the chat room, since you're the recruiter, Luann.
Definitely, yep.
Information could be great if it's not there, since you are a networking queen. I just want to thank our panelists. Let's give them a round of applause and let's find the hand and give them applause. And I think this has been a wonderful learning experience. I think it's what you can see is, and I think the current students would even echo this. When I landed here 13 years ago, my goal was the hospitality industry is all about being a family. You have the good, the bad, and the ugly when you're working together. And so my goal was to create a family within this program. And so for those of you that are in the program, I hope you feel that. And you see Luann and Rebecca and Gwen and myself and our 4 adjuncts and BJ's here. And we are a family and we're here to support you. And so what I want the prospective students to know is that when you come to NCC, you've got plenty of support, you've got plenty of love, and we're here to give you the training we can humanly possibly give you. And that, I think, is our event and our career panel. I want to thank everybody one more time, thank our panelists for attending, thank those from NCC that also joined in, and thanks to all the students who are here for this. I could have been happier for how this turned out. This is the first one I've done, and I think it was a huge success. So thank you all.
Thank you.
And for Maria and the students at MCTI, if Luann or myself or Kayla can do anything for you, please reach out to us. Love to have you become part of the NCC family.
The trip to Spain sounds outstanding, so you can invite us along. I'll shout.
Well, before COVID happened, we were looking to do a trip to Barcelona.
Ooh.
So we're changing the destination. It's still going to be Spain, but we're looking at Barcelona.
Can alumni come or are we out?
We can be chaperones.
Yes.
Right.
So,
So, we're thinking maybe 22 Barcelona. So we're looking to work with an international company where 1 year we would go to Barcelona and then the next year we would go, I think it's Florence, Italy,
Oh my God.
just kind of rotate.
Shot.
Yeah. And so yeah, you can do Italy and Spain. So
Yeah, I'm in on that.
yes.
I'll be
So
your
anyway.
escort. I'll be your
Okay,
escort.
very good. So if we can do anything to assist you, please let us know. And thank you very much for attending. And anybody that wants to stay on for us to answer questions, we're here. And team that put this together, we can also stay on and just do a post-con.
Thank you to everybody.
go.
Thank you very much.
It was great to see
Thank
all
you,
of the
everyone.
alumni. Thank you all for joining. And Pat, even though you're not an alum, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for letting me be here.
And we definitely need to we need to go to, so Dre Condre, who's on here, is at Grill 3501. We need to go to his restaurant and have cocktails.
I'm in.
I'm here
So
for it.
down for that.